but I think it's looked really good on the Aphelios for the games that he has had it in his hands. So will be taken away, and it will be a first pick Azir for Bolulu. Not a champ that I know Bolulu for. I like when he's able to go in, especially like from challengers, but going up against Quid, who Quid faced Eminez and Jojo Pyun in the mid lane. I feel like that's a true baptism into the LCS, and unfortunately he did get baptized as he has a 0.58 KDA after the first 2 games. Not a hot start for Quid, but has an opportunity to pick it up now.
I very much enjoyed the segment that Jat did highlighting Quid getting the classic welcome to NA experience. Yeah. Not just coming in late into the split, but having the enemy teams very much prioritizing playing into that, and Eminez being one of them who had experienced the same thing in spring. So we'll have to see if he can shake that off, take the welcome in stride, and show some of the strength that he can offer for 100 Thieves after a bit more time formated with this squad. And we don't know yet what he's going to be picking, but we do know that he will be facing that Azir on the opposite side. We got the Ornn in the Lovers bot lane here for 100 Thieves. Another run back of that bot lane for DoubleLift and Busio specifically. Yeah, and I know, Busio is someone that I loved watching in Academy, now Challengers. He won our most valuable prospect last summer. Got the opportunity to catch up with Busio before the games today, and he said, for this split, Soren Bjergsen was a really big voice for 100 Thieves, and he's kind of working on figuring out how he can contribute more as a leader. It's something that he was working on when he was on that Academy team, especially in spring when he was actually teammates with Kenvi going way back. So I always love watching Busio. His Rakan is good. Didn't find the win on it yesterday, but hoping for some different luck today. There are a lot of names in the LCS now that did churn through that 100 Thieves. At the time, Academy and Next System with Kenvi, Busio, and Tenacity, and the whole shebang now kind of being filtered onto different squads as Kenvi and Busio are now opponents within this particular match. But interestingly enough, on the Immortals side, Kenvi and Solo are opting into that Sejuani plus Renekton combo that we have seen so much Renekton in the LCK, for instance. Golden Guardians brought this combo out yesterday, and it's something that more teams are indexing into. Renekton is always lane dominant, but when you pair it with Sejuani, then you actually get some real kill threat in the top side. This is a much different approach for IMT as Solo. He's been on Ornn and Sion duty the entire split, but Ornn duty now goes over to Someday, which 100 Thieves fans will think very fondly of, especially thinking back to their championship and finals runs, as Someday was always big on the Ornn, as marksman bans are the focus for 100 Thieves, and then IMT taking away some of the champ pool for closer. Don't want his hands to be on the Viego. See what he ends up actually playing into that Sejuani as mid or jungle on the board here for 100 Thieves. See which one they decide to lock in first. And no matter what we do see closer on, which it looks like it's going to be the Wukong, we're still looking to him to be the leading voice for 100 Thieves. In fact, when I stepped backstage between the last game and this one, I heard him finishing up the huddle, counting 1, 2, 3, let's go in. And people have talked about, is he the one leading the call through the entirety of the game when they falter in late game? Is that something coming from closer? Is it something from the squad in totality? So a lot of pressure on the championship caliber jungler to lead this squad in a victory against IMT, who are looking to pull off a result for themselves that's favorable. All right, well, Jinx Milio, so getting a hold of that range in the bot lane, as it will be Ahri locked in for Quid. So playmaking across bot and mid for 100 Thieves. They're going to be looking to get ahead early, whereas the strength for IMT in that early game will be on that top side, trying to get that Azir and Jinx to the later stages with the Milio, where Milio, of course, did see some nerfs on this patch, but hey, that W, that range extension on Jinx, still going to be rather dire for 100 Thieves. They aren't able to have a lead early in this draft. Pulling back on some of the damage capability of that passive and fired up, but still plenty of utility to go around for Milio when it comes to protecting that carry and empowering her to carry just in that way in these fights for Immortals. But it's going to be kind of a difficult one to predict with these two, considering a lot of it has been performance driven and how unified they seem as a team, would you say? Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, up these weeks, 3 games a pop. You go winless in a week, it really affects not just your mentality, but place in the standings. So we'll see if Immortals or 100 Thieves can feel better on the latter end of this game. But, needed a little more time. Some of that switching up of strategy, and in this case, it is the Renekton. So it almost feels like there's a bit more of a heavy eye on Solo on how he performs on this pick, since he's usually the one on the Ornn, which Someday will have this time around. 100 Thieves not able to find anything with the aggressive look. And I think for 100 Thieves this game, a lot of it's going to come down to this early Herald
or I expect 100 Thieves to be favored, given that they have the Ahri, Wukong, Xayah, Rakan. So I want to see if 100 Thieves can use some of their early team fight tools to, again, build up a gold lead. Because Ornn scales really nicely, but going up against Azir plus Jinx, if you are able to protect them, that damage later could be deadly, and they will outdamage the carries for 100 Thieves if they aren't able to find a lead early. So Closer, to no surprise, actually playing through, or pathing to bot, whereas Kenvi, to some surprise, looks like he will be clearing top to bot as well, leaving solo to his own devices, and maybe not taking advantage of that synergy that we have between the Sejuani and Renekton that is so deadly in the top side.
Yeah, I do want to know how Immortals do plan to play around this, because when we saw it from Golden Guardians, for instance, and other teams, it is with that attempt to get that lead on Renekton on that top side. So do Immortals index into that, which I'm sure 100 Thieves has the lead on, or the read rather, or do Immortals decide to expend those resources elsewhere? For now, we're just going to get the standard meeting in the lanes, nothing too crazy.
And Closer looks like working towards bot camps a little bit more quickly, going for red and maybe the reverse course. Busio going to trade flash for flash with that level 2, as they also get the ghost out of Tactical, so he's down to 0 summoners. Could be something that Closer could visit here. Oh, good trades though.
Yeah, he throws out the zap for the slow so he can get some more autos down, empowered by Treatz. That's a decent amount of damage onto 100 Thieves, so forced to use some of their early sustain to keep themselves in this lane. All the while, Kenvi making that traditional pathing downwards.
We'll see if Closer decides to take a pit stop after this camp into the bot lane, as it is no summoners here for the side of Tactical. Busio did blow his flash to set that up, but if he is able to connect with a couple Qs, could top double lift off and then make sure the Closer can come down and get involved.
So in terms of what Closer has on his agenda, he's looking to take that early look down on bot side, level 3 currently. Tactical and Treatz made sure to keep that ward up and ready to spot Closer when he's going for the wraparound, and Kenvi
this is dangerous.
Nearby.
Kenvi just dinged level 4, so he's going to have a level on Closer. If Closer were to wrap around, Kenvi would have had an advantage in that fight. Not going to be the case, though, as they're going to check together. Kenvi is spotted, and this bot crab will likely have to be dropped for the side of 100 Thieves. The Closer will move towards the top side. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Busio grand entrancing in, but has the battle dance to get out. So the cadence of coming in, tries to get a little lockdown onto Tactical, use the shielding to get back to his laner. And Kenvi, because of the way when Closer was coming down to pressure on that bot side and kind of waiting around a bit, Kenvi was able to get that clear out and thus have a slight lead and farm on Closer. Yeah,
the crab went to Closer as Quid was actually able to hover down, so not bad for him. Top crab will not be contestable given the priority that Renekton has for the side of Closer. So quiet start for the side of IMT. But I think for 100 Thieves, getting access to level 6 is going to be very important here for the Wukong and Ahri, because then they can really start making plays to speed up this game.
As soon as the Spirit Rush is available for Ahri, it's not just about the firepower that you have with the mage in mid, but also that roaming capability and just the gap closing that you can offer with an aggressive look from Quid.
And again, Quid still looking to get settled here in NA. As I know stepping in a week late been not the easiest scenario for Quid, but I'd say Eminez and Jojo probably not going to find opponents that are as talented in lane as those two here in the LCS. I think those are our two top dogs when it comes to mid. So Quid maybe has an opportunity to do some things here against IMT, as 100 Thieves again looking for their first win with Quid. Their first win this week.
Definitely an NA welcome that you received, and I remember seeing that I believe Quid was around here last week, getting to step into the studio, get some familiarity beforehand, which I personally think is always a great advantage to have, so you're not taking in everything at once. First time on a different stage with a different roster after limited scrim time beforehand, but making sure to get acclimated with the rest of the 100 Thieves squad. All the while on the bot side, it's been Tactical and Treatz continuing to just push forth with their pressure, keeping up. The farm is even between the two, but it's DoubleLift that has been taking the brunt of the damage from this poke. Tactical
is going to have access to Ghost here in a moment, as Closer might be looking to wrap around, but Kenvi, of course, going to be here. So here to support his bot lane as he tries to get this wave in. Good stuff from Kenvi, as this setup for IMT, again, in the bot lane has been really good. Jinx is going to scale very nicely with Milio. The fact they have a bit of a lead now is excellent.
And Kenvi did get caught out on the Sparrows room from Closer, who was just kind of poking into Kenvi's jungle a bit there. So once you're seen, Kenvi can't quite make the play. Didn't really seem like he was anticipating to make the dive there, but see if they can get some kind of shove forward, because that dragon has come into play, has spawned up. So it's always going to put more of an emphasis on your bot lane to try and keep that advantage.
Yeah, I will say the IMT bot lane, they get a really nice base for themselves, but Kenvi did just finish his clear on the bot side, and this is where they could look for that dragon, as their bot lane will get back to lane first. So Kenvi trying to set that up to get the word out, but Quid does have access to that level 6. So have to be a little bit careful about the Ahri if they want to try and make a play here.
The Emperor's Divide for Bolulu and the Spirit Rush for Quid, both available. Both have flashes as well, so things can get a bit bloody if both of these teams decide they want to collapse upon this objective. A battle over the scuttle for now. Closer takes a decent amount of damage when Kenvi enters because he's got Tactical behind him, ushering forward that poke. But 100 Thieves secure scuttle once again.
IMT should be able to get some push, though, if they actually want to pressure the dragon. Not going to be the case. It's been delayed enough where IMT are going to go towards that top side. And this, I think Herald's going to be really interesting, because you do have Renekton, who has been able to build a slight lead on his own in the top side and is so powerful around these Herald fights, especially with the Sejuani. But you think of Wukong plus Ahri, and you think of Herald fights, especially throw a Rakan in the mix. If 100 Thieves want to take this, I think they will need a full rotate. Oh, hold on. Solo kill?
Bolulu ults Quid flashes, knows that Closer is here, so saying, come help me, jungler, come help me. So Closer
Wait, what?
An auto onto Bolulu flashes forward to make the contact. First blood for Immortals here.
Oh, no rotation needed. Quid falls again to Bolulu as he continues the welcome to an A train that the other mid laners had given Quid, and that will be a Herald now going over uncontested, most likely to the side of Immortals. So even with the Azir and Jinx that they get so big later in the game, the ability for IMT to use those 2 picks to actually have priority early, eliminate what Closer can do, this map's looking really good for Immortals, as with Milio, these champs get really scary later in the game.
Scary, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to give it to Bolulu for aggressing forward even after Quid had expelled his flash, using his own to secure the kill here. Closer couldn't offset both Kenvi and Bolulu, and because of that, Kenvi immediately making the rotation over towards that Rift Herald, takes it for himself. At the same time, Tactical and Treatz had been pushed up on that bot side, so there was no opportunity for 100 Thieves to collapse on that dragon prior, though they are doing so now.
Will just be the trade. Mountain, pretty good singular Drake to pick up, but I think Immortals very happy getting that Rift Herald away from 100 Thieves, as now they can use this to funnel Jinx or Azir. That Renekton will continue to be a strong point early in the top side. He's okay being on his own. We'll just have a bit of a CS lead. Ornn's going to be more valuable later, but if you look at what the carries for Immortals are getting, and Bolulu's up a wave, has that solo kill. Tactical, him and Treatz been laning very well, utilizing the range that Jinx has into the Xayah rather nicely for this matchup, and was able to escape that point of the game where Tactical was down both of his summoner spells safely. So again, this is really nice for IMT, and 100 Thieves, they got to start pushing the pedal to the gas if they want to do stuff with this Ahri Wukong combo and take advantage of how strong these champs are earlier in the game.
But how worried are you for them now that they haven't been able to make much happen with those 2 picks compared to Immortals that have a 1.3k gold lead as we're about to hit 10 minutes?
Not yet. I'm not too worried. I think that the mythic item spike is really where these picks excel. And once you lock down those items, you can make plays onto anyone if you do have Ahri, Wukong plus Rakan. So I think 100 Thieves, it's not to the point where I'm worried, but man, giving away 2k gold in this lead to Azir Jinx as these champs get so scary later in the game, not where 100 Thieves want to be early.
Yeah, been still looking out for that first item spike. Lost chapter for both the mid laners, clearly working up to it. And I mean, for Immortals, it's across all of the lanes that they've been able to manage some of this pressure. Yeah. Tactical and Treatz continuing to push up with the CS lead. You have Solo working against Someday over in the top side to extend the lead all the more. Kenvi venturing forward, uses the ultimate and wants to get the lock onto Busio, uses the battle stance to lock onto Closer. So no lives lost here, but an ultimate used by Kenvi.
Could see Closer and Quid maybe look to punish that. Also, Bolulu drops a little bit low, of course, is down the flash, so Busio wants to get involved. Yeah, at least gonna force Bolulu back. As I think, you know, walking into this game, Gabby, we talked a lot about how Tactical feels like he's played a lot better this split. For me, that's been off of his consistency. Because we could always see good moments from Tactical, but it was always that he would push things a little bit too far, and that would get them in trouble. I really want to see this game if Tactical can continue to play soundly, as it's a hell of an execute that can come out from 100 Thieves onto the Jinx, but Tactical does have this lead early on the Jinx, and if he is able to continue positioning a lot more consistently, as I feel like he's done well this early split, it could be something they'll look for IMT that could help them lead to that win.
Bolulu and Kenvi, they've got red on both sides. Bolulu has to dash away. Kenvi has the Arctic Assault to do the exact same thing, and it's a good time to use that Rift Herald on the mid turret. They can get the crash and get some plates.
Busio!
A lot of damage, but Busio wants to go for the engage. Closer swinging on out of there, and Bolulu has fallen. 100 Thieves getting 1 kill for the Drake drop, or the Rift Herald drop, instead of Immortals.
That's the trio we're looking for. Props the Closer was actually able to get over that Azir ult from Bolulu, as he was able to go down, and 100 Thieves, this combo that, you know, really is the strength of this part of the game, was able to find something there, Gabby.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for at this point for 100 Thieves. You are not unaware of the fact that Immortals have been gradually building these leads across their lanes. They had that Rift Herald before, they get the crash, so you say, okay, how can we start injecting more gold into who we need to have?
Take another look. Props to Busio on the snap engage. Treatz wasn't quite here yet to get them out of the charm, as that wasn't quite in range for the ult. The immediate, and then Closer uses that clone to sneak on over the scoop from Bolulu. Well done for Closer on the Wukong. That's enough to find that first kill and get 100 Thief on the Rift, but as we look back, I want to see if they can punish. Like, no summoner spells are down for the side of IMT. They're going to have to get out of those Wukong Rakan combos, and I think 100 Thieves have to continue to try and push at this point of the game.
And because so many ultimates were used in that past engage, there's also a stillness that comes as a result from both of these teams, a lack of the tools needed to get things going. And you still have 45 seconds until this next dragon spawns. 100 Thieves had grabbed the first, so it's still not in a dire position for either, where yes, 100 Thieves would obviously like a second, but Immortals aren't really too worried if they end up giving one over. Still having a gold lead to work with, and just a little bit longer before these plates fall. And it was just a couple kind of in the bot side that were picked up. Seeing if anyone can pick up a kill over in mid.
Hold on.
Squid escaping a lot of the CC. They throw it back onto Kenvi, but in the vicinity of this jungle, and with a Sejuani as beefy as she can be, 100 Thieves can't really follow up on it. And
Closer's ult just came off cooldown. If he had that available, maybe there's a play available for the Thieves to make, but not going to be the case. Instead, we're just going to trade ultimates before this dragon fight. I expect IMT to actually seed this over unless we have solo once TP to get involved, but I think it's very scary still to fight 100 Thieves at this moment, where you have Rakan plus Wukong. The snap engage, so dangerous, but no, okay, we're going to have a TP committed. IMT, they're going to think about this one.
Solo charmed as soon as he enters, but was able to anticipate that. Dragon falls, Closer takes it. An attempt by Someday to get the lock onto Solo. Empowered by Dominus, he stands strong, and multiple stepping away from the Ornn horn drawn by Someday. And it wasn't a very bloody one, Cubby, but the objective secured by Closer.
Well done by 100 Thieves. They're able to get the objective, get out, no blood. As, again, a bit surprised that IMT decided to fight that one. They didn't have the setup. Solo tried to TP to find something, but good disengage from Someday, as he's going to hover this bot side in case anyone from Thieves checks. Thieves are smart enough, though, and it will just be a dragon traded away for a tower, as this game continues to be a bit slow, but gold for Immortals keeps going to the right place.
Yeah, and I think that's what they care about in the end, when you have someone like Azir, who can be such a damage threat later on. Solo can offer not just, obviously you saw how much he can survive even when TPing in the middle of them and popping that Dominus, but still pushing pressure and different angles of attack from Immortals. But 100 Thieves, I will say though, they've kept in it. They've made sure to, even though there's so much bot side pressure from Tactical and Treatz and DoubleLift and Busio, were never really able to venture forward. It was the team fighting that allowed them to secure those dragons and now gravitate towards this top side to take the second Rift Herald of the game, the first one having been drawn by Immortals.
I feel like IMT is doing a nice job of at least respecting the strength that the 100 Thieves draft has at this point of the game, as I think they're comfortable sitting on their laurels at the moment of this 2.5K gold lead, seeding the last two neutrals, as I expect IMT to be ready to contest starting at that third dragon, as I think they're going to want to try and get 2 items on their carries before they start getting frisky with this very deadly Ahri Wukong Rakan combo.
Yeah, we're getting past that first item spike. Kraken Slayer for both of the AD carries down in the bot side, and Mythics completed for Bolulu and Quid. Also worth noting, even though you're never really paying attention to what Milio is doing in the fights, but it's still worth noting when he's built into that Shrilia's Battle Song, for instance. A lot of these items like that, and Ardent Sensor and the others, working so well to empower the rest of the team, despite some of the changes on 13.12.
Still going to give the same amount of range to Jinx. That's the scary part as we move further and further into this game. Is Tactical doesn't have the word there to step up, and a good thing that he was wiser to it as Quid and Closer were lying in wait. His reactions are going to need to be good against that Ahri Wukong again. Treatz can help him out, as of course Milio does enable your marksman to not have to take that cleanse. If you're good with it. And oh, hold on.
Bolulu, a defensive ultimate, and then he has to flash out. That was a good save from Bolulu, and multiple blast cone usage for 100 Thieves to escape with all 3 of their lives. I think it was a good aggressive look from 100 Thieves to try to find an opportunity when there's not much standing on the map, but also a great response from Bolulu to survive it.
They did get a flash out of Bolulu, so that is something that 100 Thieves can look to punish next time around. But yeah, that was well played by the Bolulu. Flash necessary against that grand entrance
and
with Busio.
Too.
Yeah, didn't quite want to burn that. TP does come down. Keep your eyes on the Sunday. He's channeling a recall right now. There are wards behind IMT if Sunday wants to push here. All ults are up for 100 Thieves. I feel like this is when they want to fight in the game.
Sunday has teleport, has all resources except for a flash.
Yeah, here we go.
Teleporting in now. You can see that on the map in the blue side jungle.
Everyone shifting up.
They don't have any wards on it, but there's the call of the Forge God. Kenvi charmed immediately after getting knocked up, and Busio wants to find him with the knockup, but now they are turning and running. Kenvi stuns up Someday, and from downtown, the damage is good from Tactical for Closer to fall.
Oh no!
So gets rooted under the turret, but they're still in pursuit. DoubleLift dishes damage on the retreat, but cannot defeat Immortals in the fight.
And it's a great disengage from Treatz and Tactical as that ult on the Milio gets Kenvi out as we see the replay. Again, this is when 100 Thieves want to fight. This is when their comp should be strong with Ahri Wukong earlier in the game, so they decide this is the time to force. But DoubleLift isn't there to follow up, and the disengage from Immortals was too good. Quid has to burn 2 ult charges to get in range. Insta cleanse from Treatz on that ultimate. Tactical flashes out of the combo from Busio. And look at how low 100 Thieves is after this, as the range now from Azir and Jinx take over. 100 Thieves, when that engage doesn't connect, everything goes wayward, and I want to see 100 Thieves now try to play fast, punish the burn summoner spells. They have to keep on trying to make plays at this point of the game, push now, before they get brutally outscaled by this Azir and Jinx.
And seeing if they can make anything happen with that in mind over on the bot side, because Immortals, after that victory in the fight, move on downwards. We have less than 10 seconds before the dragon has spawned, and the scuttle and warding is in favor of blue side.
Yeah, this is big.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are going to find limited opportunity.
Credit to Immortals. After that winning play in the top side, able to get control over this dragon and deny that soul point from 100 Thieves. They will trade for the Herald Crash mid. That's a mid-outer for dragon. I think at this point of the game, IMT happy that they pick up the dragon and start the stacking, as buying more time for Jinx and Azir. Always a winning formula here for the most part in League of Legends.
Breaks the stacking for 100. You don't have to worry about them being on soul point by taking it. 100 Thieves, they do still get that advantage in mid when you're taking down your first turret and it's in the mid lane. It offers more room for you to roam with the rest of the team, so you can establish control in the other portions of the map, as Immortals have had the advantage in that regard all the way through.
And I think while objectives are down now for 100 Thieves, Baron not going to quite be the option yet here for either of our teams, as you're going to want second items, especially on the side of IMT. Make plays onto Tactical. Tactical, he's missing his summoner spells right now. 100 Thieves, they've got to punish this over on this side. If they aren't able to, if you're able to get Jinx out for free again, if you are Immortals, the damage this champion does later in the game, it's so deadly. And this front line, this Sejuani, Renekton, they have a lead at the moment. They should be big enough to withstand the damage that 100 Thieves has with this gold lead. So I really want to see Closer and Quid try to push the pace, work together to punish this Jinx, or at least pressure Tactical, make things hard.
And I think finding a fight where you see Jinx first, because even in that last one where Immortals were able to come out on top, yes, that started actually with Kenvi throwing out his ultimate and ended up getting sidestepped by multiple members of 100 Thieves. A couple ults used and 100 say, okay, I think we have some agency to move forward. We don't have eyes on Tactical. He's rotating from the mid portion of the map, but instead that beefiness of Immortals able to draw out so much time, the cleanse from the breath of life from Treatz doing exactly that so that Kenvi could stay alive and Tactical can just walk on up so that he can offer the damage as soon as he arrives. And I'm sure Immortals will look to repeat that strategy again and again unless 100 can find the picks. They had an easier time finding those picks in the early laning phase when both teams weren't unlocked from lane. But now that they are, it's much more difficult for them to find safe lanes of execution.
You can see they're looking here though, as Closer will be spotted. At least get the passive off Kenvi, but Solo, I really like what Solo's doing. Whenever he gets shoved in these side lanes, he's not looking to pressure the inners. Instead, he's actually looking to hover to make sure that Tactical, while he doesn't have some, is actually safe. And a lot of these hovers from Solo have been able to IMT to actually look for plays, or at least deter 100 Thieves from going, because they don't know where this Renekton is, who is very strong early. So I think props Solo some good understanding of how to play out this comp from IMT, as it's mostly the 4-1s. We're going to keep this Azir and Jinx together, as 100 Thieves really struggling to get in and find any angles again on the Jinx, who is still missing Flash for another couple seconds here. As 100 Thieves, I mean, 2 instances where in this game, Jinx has been down both Summoner spells, and 100 Thieves just have not been able to punish.
Yeah, and it's Jinx and Solo both without a flash. For 100 Thieves, it is just Quid that is lacking for the time being. 3,000 gold leads still in place for Immortals, but because of kind of the stagnation over the recent minutes, that hasn't ballooned or waned in any way in particular. You know, Bolulu spending some time on the top side to push that wave up. You always want to make sure the waves around the objective at hand are somewhat controlled. So with the Baron being the major one on the map, keeping those lanes in mid and top pushed is always going to be favorable.
And, I mean, the more IMT slows down this game, the better, as Bolulu going to find a good chunk here on Quid. And for Immortals, I mean, look at Jinx. She's got that completed Gale Force now. Azir is sitting on 2 items. The more items these champs get, 3rd item, Azir, Jinx, they get even all the more scarier for the side of 100 Thieves to deal with, as we're a little bit under 90 seconds away from this next dragon. It's a weaker soul, Chemtech being on the map, but honestly, I really feel like 100 Thieves, they're running out of time to try and do something against IMT.
If IMT are trying to drag out the game, Cubby, then who are you looking on 100 to press that go button when necessary? Because you've got, yes, Busio and Someday holding the engage, but it's so difficult to find that angle with some of the ways that they have been moving and still trying to make sure that Quid and DoubleLift stay protected, and Quid can use an aggressive look on his ultimate, unlike the last couple times where it felt like it was very defensive or just to catch up with the rest of the team.
For me, this combo, it's either going to be Ornn and then Closer follow-up, or Closer just starts the fight. Because that's where Rakan can really piggyback in. Then you get Ahri coming over the top with that Everfrost and the damage from her. So eyes on the top side for 100 Thieves as those members from the victorious split 2 years ago that summer, they're going to have to be the ones that step up here if they want to find a win this week and avoid starting the split 1 and 5.
And the more that Busio can tag with the quickness, the better. And it's so much easier to do when they're knocked up by the call of the Forage God, or Closer getting the same effect with that Cyclone. So 100 Thieves, the veterans, looking to be the ones to lead the charge. Closer is the first to come in, but can be queuing on out of it.
It's a nice chunk there, as 100 Thieves. We'll see if they can contest this next wave. I think after that, we'll see each fog down towards that dragon. Again, Immortals, they don't have to fight this. They can try and take mid-outer. No, but at the moment they want it. Here comes Solo.
Oh, DoubleLift in danger, has to Featherstone for the safe play. Solo, multiple knockups, and eliminated by DoubleLift. IMT grouped together, 100 Thieves have taken control of the river, and as a result, set their sights on the dragon.
Great charm from Busio, as that stops Solo from getting the flash stun off. And that actually, he was overcommitted, fell down early. The ult didn't connect from Bolulu, and 100 Thieves get out with a win in the dragon. Now check this, the charm from Busio. So Solo flashed onto the charm from Busio, wasn't able to get down that stun. Now able to not even get down a Q either as he falls. 100 Thieves, great job of focusing down that Renekton. Bolulu, that swoop comes up empty as 100 Thieves able to get that soul point, get some much needed gold in their pockets. And again, 100 Thieves, their comp doesn't get any stronger than what it is right now. So I want to see them continue to push the pace. Bolulu is missing a flash. Treatz is missing a flash. Solo's missing a flash. The faster they play, once they get these ultimates back up, they can punish.
Yeah, if Immortals get a bit of a better look in the coming fights, it could be a different story. Because, like you said, Cubby, that ultimate from Bolulu there, all it really pushed back was an Ornn. Too heavy. You have to take all of the Emperor's Divide effort just to lift him by the horns and throw him away. And there's not much that you get of it. So Immortals' gold lead has been cut down slightly, and 100 Thieves are officially on soul point. Still a while before they can build that soul specifically, but it gives them a little bit of room to grow.
Going to be a Baron dance as this game continues to be slow. I will say the one thing that will get better for 100 Thieves throughout this game is that level 16 for Someday, of course, ornaments coming into the inventories for 100 Thieves, but also there have been some changes to Renekton that enable him to be a little bit stronger later with that ultimate, but Ornn should feel a lot better contesting Renekton in the sides, and could actually be a lane that 100 Thieves looks to focus as they take down. Have the ability, you could send some people to try and take down Renekton later in this game, but at the moment, as long as Solo's bot side, full focus around the Baron for each of these teams as the dance has started, and IMT, they're the ones that have control.
It comes down to how much do these teams want to group as 5 and engage in that dance around Baron versus sending members to go split elsewhere, because Solo and Bolulu both have teleport, but did make sure to kind of really just put that sticky tape to them and the rest of the team for a bit while they were trying to establish that vision first. And now Solo making that rotation towards bot once Someday has moved to see if he can effort that way forward.
So Solo spotted. If 100 Thieves want to start, this is a war that I feel like Solo could go towards, and 100 Thieves will hit it to try and get that TP out of Solo. So here we go. Kenvi just spotted now. Oh, Baron's down.
Oh, it's below down. Closer securing the Baron. DoubleLift feather storming out of there. Can he get the drawback for some lockdown? Ornn horn thrown, but does not get the knockup. Bolulu throwing down the ultimate, but gives his life as the trade. Solo slicing and dicing out of the pit. Closer swinging away, but the double kill credit goes to Quid. Immortals, the super mega death rocket hit from Tactical gets a trade back. So even though 100 Thieves pull the purple, Immortals take a couple away with them.
What has it been, though, with this week in Baron sneaks? We saw one in the last game. We saw FlyQuest drop 3 free Barons over to EG to end up yesterday. Now 100 Thieves, they're able to sneak a Baron themselves as a Kraken Slayer Xayah just ripped through the Nash. And then on the flip side, this engage from Busio stopped Bolulu, who again was flashless in his tracks, able to find the Azir on the back half. Bolulu not able to DPS, and good follow-up from Quid. Was able to get DoubleLift out of there. Props to Tactical on this side of the fight. Was able to position really nicely and do some damage, and always love to see some pixel-perfect plays from our pros, as this ult was pretty damn clean.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Tried to spear rush over, but couldn't do it in time. Prime timing from Tactical. In the end, though, 100 Thieves, they got the Baron. They got the last Drake.
Yeah.
They have pulled the gold lead towards themselves at 2.1K. It was almost the exact number on the opposite side, Cubby, before that previous fight. And 100 Thieves standing in the driver's seat for what feels like the first time this game.
And their ability to control these fights, honestly, with Someday on the Ornn has been really big, as this is still the fear that I have, though, for 100 Thieves. Tactical is down a couple levels of DoubleLift now, but that W-empowered Jinx later in the game can't get a lot more range than that, as that's going to be really tough for 100 Thieves to deal with. Again, whatever engage they take, it has to be clean. That's why I love seeing Busio focus down Bolulu, who was down Flash in that last fight, but each carry for IMT has Flash available to them now. It's really going to be on each of them to try and pull out here safely as Tactical.
100 Thieves were waiting in tri-bush.
He doesn't have TP. That's huge.
So much damage. Bolulu's teleporting in now. Gets rooted by Quid as soon as he enters.
Oh, no.
There's a decent amount of damage on the fall. Yeah, 100 Thieves. They create this line across the jungle, and even with the turret drop down by Bolulu, Immortals can push some distance between themselves and 100, but yep, that dragon is up. River attacked again by 100. They have complete control over the water.
I mean, Bolulu TP'd to that fight and got chunked, and then Solo had to TP to the Baron and he got chunked. So there's no ability for the solo laners to actually eat that and TP back in. So just a free soul going over to 100 Thieves. Immortals taking those skirmishes very poor there. As, I mean, once you lose that health, you couldn't contest the Dragon anymore. And 100 Thieves continue to step forward and find advantages in this game.
100 Thieves really pushing those advantages, like you said. And I mean, Bloodthirster just completed for DoubleLift, so
yeah,
be able to stick in these fights just that much longer with that much more strength to take down Immortals.
And it really feels like this Jinx Azir combo. And props to 100 Thieves, they've been making it really hard for either one to actually auto-attack and play together. Like the way that I think you want to play this is use the Emperor's Divide to protect Jinx and make sure she's able to continuously free fire throughout the fight. But that Baron fight, Bolulu was split from IMT. The one before, that all came up empty from the Azir, and it really has prevented a lot of things from going the way of IMT, as Quid's going to get chunked here pretty hard.
Ooh, uh-oh, some days walking down in case Solo wanted to continue overstepping on this chase, but instead takes half of Quid's bar as the consolation prize, as most of Immortals are in that defensive positioning, hovering around this mid lane. DoubleLift has been forcing that wave forward on that top side, so now Tactical has to clear it out. Solo trying his best to mitigate any pressure that 100 Thieves can offer on that bot side, but what are you thinking from Immortals here, Cubby? For so long, it was looking like they had control, and it was all up to 100 Thieves to make the plays happen, off of some of Engage from Someday and Closer, and now they have done just that, and Immortals really need to lean on that power spike of Tactical. How do they do so?
It feels like Kenvi and Solo have just kind of been walking in and getting melted without Azir and Jinx being able to help out. So maybe IMT trying to absorb and engage could be the thing, and honestly, they'll probably have the opportunity to do so as they keep on falling further behind. As Busio is going to get picked, able to get out, no combo.
Got stunned up for a moment by Kenvi, but no follow-up available for Immortals at this point in time. And I think that's a good point you make when you have Kenvi and Solo who have so much HP, right? And the whole point is to get value for the HP that you trade for the damage that 100 Thieves took out. And if your team isn't there to offer the damage while you're soaking up so much, then it's difficult to make anything happen. In fact, it's something that we saw a lot from 100 Thieves in the start of spring, where the tanks were going forward and the damage wasn't there. Once they shored that up, it worked well for them, and it looks like they've shored things up in this game, where now Immortals are struggling with that exact problem.
And they're just running Immortals across the map. At this point, Immortals, that Renekton doesn't win the side anymore, so Solo's been trying to group and find a pick or anything, but Quid and DoubleLift just walked away with 2 free turrets, uncontested, and IMT continue to be on the back foot in this game. Yeah, I just think the first couple of fights, I mean, you want to fight front to back with this Immortals team comp, but it feels like I think Bolulu was a little bit far up. Solo was a little bit far up in the 2 fights that IMT have taken. 100 Thieves had really good focus to take them down first, and it really meant that the carry of this game, which should be Tactical, has not been able to do what he was supposed to do in these fights, but has access to that Hurricane, that 4th item now, and we've seen what Jinx can do if she gets 1 reset. So I think all eyes have to be on Tactical to see if he can save this one for his team.
Yeah, looking to see if he gets the most damage output, but also if some of these combos can work out for Immortals. Chomper's thrown down, and Someday temporarily stunned, but has to escape. Yeah, Closer takes a lot of damage, and Quid wants to find the flank angle, but Immortals are trying to seek out his positioning here so they don't get collapsed upon.
That's really good for IMT.
Gets tagged with the W.
Really good. I think IMT should start this because they chunked out Closer, doesn't have access to TP. He's going to have to sprint back to the base. So if IMT want to start this now, they can force Closer to be here at low HP. Yeah, a couple ults are down. Quid has no ult. This is a good setup for Immortals.
Exactly that. Kenvi is taking the brunt of the damage now once again, but this time, can Immortals make something happen of it? They have to back off of this Baron. There's a lot of vision afforded by 100 Thieves, and the tenacity with which they step up to IMT.
Tactical.
They want to create the distance. Featherstorm drawn out by DoubleLift, and Solo knocked up by the Ornn.
Yeah, they found him.
Side. Bolulu out of the pit, and Quid has been collapsed upon. Kenvi flashes over the wall, and Solo swinging away onto Busio. Gets 1 hit. Quid out of stasis. The resurrection coming on through for Solo, but he's in the center of a lot of red. A good charm up, and the double kill from Quid finishes off Treatz. Bolulu, last man standing for IMT, and Quid, with everybody else, collapses upon him. Your own turret can't keep you alive. It's the nice from 100 Thieves, really turning things around in these games over the past 5 minutes.
I got to give Busio a lot of praise for that engage on the back half. His Rakan found Tactical. It was a great follow-up as both Quid and DoubleLift flash over to take the Jinx down. No one was able to protect Tactical. He goes down. 100 Thieves are going to take the Nexus.
That's it. 100 Thieves turned week 2 from sour to sweet, avoiding defeat.
Yeah, no talking with Busio before the game. He said, obviously, if we get a game here, momentum for the split as they get to at least end this week 1-2, find a win, and 100 Thieves